Hello, welcome back to the Off-Grid family. A while back my wife was driving along and someone was throwing out this perfectly fine cabinet. It needed some, restoring, and there was bits of mould on it and stuff where it had just been left outside. But she said, is that being thrown away? Because she can't stand seeing stuff thrown away, like me, that I wasn't thrown away, but what I mean is, like me, she doesn't like seeing things thrown away that can be used for other things, or can be fixed. And so she said, can I have it? And they loaded it on the van. So she brought it home and went, you've got a project, and sort of pointed at me and went, get it done. And me, not scared of her or anything, so I got straight on with it. Absolutely straight on with it. So basically we need to do a bit of sanding, a bit of, this, that and the other, and we're going to get this thing looking brand new again. Before we go any further, I'd just like to thank David and Joseph, my patrons. Thank you so much, guys. You really have helped the channel, and you keep it going, and it also psychologically keeps me going. I've got people who have invested in me, and I really, really do appreciate that. You'll never know just how much I appreciate that. If you guys would like to become Patreon, all the links are in the description, but please, liking, commenting and subscribing is just as important. So if you can't afford, because it's not easy these days, if you can't afford to become Patreon, just like, comment, subscribe. It doesn't matter what you comment, just be fun, be happy, and just, and if you've got any tips and tricks and stuff on, the videos I do, that sort of thing is invaluable to me, because I genuinely believe the YouTube comment section can be so useful. Anyway, let's get on.
Okay, so here it is. I apologise about the brightness. There's not much I can do. The sun was in and out like a sun, and it was just a pain trying to get the contrast right. But the back here is extremely mouldy, and there's no hope for that. We can't fix that. We're going to have to exchange that. But there is scratches absolutely everywhere, deep into the wood. This is going to need a lot of sanding, but the drawers seem to be in quite good nick, so there's very little that needs doing there apart from a bit of a clean, which is quite nice. As I say, all of this is going to have to be pulled out, and these are going to have to be completely removed, otherwise the mould will spread. So we'll start off now by just getting the drawers out. I'm not sure how well it'll show on video, but the fronts of the drawers aren't too bad, but we will still be sanding them all down just to get them to be able to take the stain with the rest of the woodwork. Okay, and now follows about 2 days, maybe 3 days of sanding, just to remove all of the scratches and get the wood back to being nice and polishable and clean. Now I remove the doors because they are not only needing to be sanded and so on, but they're in the way for the rest of it. And as I'm taking it apart, I noticed that this one was actually damaged and will need some fixing, sadly. So will the other two. They are both in bad condition. Here's a close-up of the mould on the back, and this will definitely need to be removed. And this is the bottom where it's really badly mouldy as well. So I'm going to mix up a batch of water and bleach, and I'm going to spray this all down to kill all of the actual mould. And that way then we can sand off the top layer, the bad bits, and the rest of the mould should be dead, hopefully. I think the reason it was so mouldy was because they'd taken off the feet, so this was directly on the floor of wherever it was. It was probably some form of workshop or something, and it just, got worse and worse over the time. And back to sanding. I start with a very coarse paper and then go to very fine, so we can get a very, very nice finish. This is a shot of the bottom of it, the bit that I just bleached. It's not a good shot because the sun just keeps coming out and going away, so it's really hard to get it to the right light.
This was starting to come off, and we were like, well, how has this just come off? What's going on? And someone had obviously kicked the door and split it directly where the screws are, and it comes all the way down this way. So I'm just going to glue it up and clamp it in place and hope that that's going to be strong enough. I think it should be. And then we're going to, come on, autofocus. Once it's all glued and stuff, we're going to be sanding down all the fronts anyway. Well, fronts and back. Now this is all-purpose waterproof wood glue. And I've got a huge pot of it, but I always put it in these little things just to make my life a little easier. I'm going to start on this side because it seems to have come off the most. And I'm going to be very liberal with the glue. And just chuck loads on. And then I'll do a clean up afterwards. going to go on this side. It's a useful paintbrush. When this is clamped together, the glue's going to go everywhere, but I'm going to clean it all up then. I'm just trying to get as much in the gaps as I can. So hopefully it sticks nice and solid. And this glue is actually starting to dry in the pot, so it's probably a good time to use it all up anyway. Okay, next I'm going to clamp it. Sadly, these are the smallest clamps I've got. They're over 1 meter long. But they're the only ones I have, so it's what we got to use basically. Now normally I do 3, and I do 1 on the top and 2 underneath, but it's not that important to me that it, you know, that it doesn't bow, etc. So we're just gonna do our best with what we got. Okay, so give it a good clean now. We are sanding this all down, so I'm not too bothered if there's residue left. Sometimes, you know, this would be a problem, and you know, you try and get as much of that off as you can. But as I say, we're sanding this all down, so it's not a problem at all really. As this is already sort of drying in the pot, it's been in the pot for a bit longer now, and there's a bit too much air getting to it, but it's started to go all tacky straight away, which isn't a problem, but there you go, quite handy. Just rolls off, and don't forget to turn it over. And now it's just about letting it dry.
Okay, so that is all of the exterior and the interior bits that we are going to be sanding done. We're not doing the side bits on the inside because they will not be seen, and they are pretty well fine anyway. The top obviously still got the back to remove, which I'll be doing next. I originally try and remove the pin tack nail things with this remover, but I get a few out and then I just start pulling the actual, you know, cardboard off. In the end, I just go to the other side and punch it through on all pieces, and it takes me a few seconds compared to this debacle here.
So I've taken all the backs off, but all the nails are still in there, so I need to just pull all them out, but I'll do that in a minute.
Okay, so we're at the last bit, which is just sanding down the final 2 doors and then staining. I have removed all of the pins that were holding the wooden bit on the back, and I will be replacing that with a piece of wood that I've kept from an old wardrobe for exactly this reason, for updating certain things. So yeah, on to the staining after this.
Okay, so we have made them look all nice, and next we'll be working on this, getting this looking the same colour.
Okay, so now we're adding the stain to the top, and I've done all the other parts of this now, and then it's just a case of putting the backing on. The backing is actually what we're using on the floor to stop the carpet getting any stain on. It's already been cut to the right size, just a case of nailing it back in, and we are done. The backing back in and all of the staining done. The inside is looking absolutely beautiful, as is the top, and that's the back. It's just literally a few nails just to tack it back in where it was, and as I say, this was an old one, so it already had nail marks in. But this is the final thing. Now let's get all the drawers and doors back on.
And there it is, complete. Not bad for free, eh? Well, there you go. You know, it went from a cabinet that's basically going to be binned to a cabinet that now is useful. And, you know, it took maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. Everything I used on it was scrap as well. So the piece of wood that we put on this backing, that was scrap from an old wardrobe we had, and things like that, you know. The only thing I did have to buy was the actual stain, but I bought that for when I did George's desk. So again, that was already, you know, we already had it, but if you're going to do that, you might not have that. But it was super simple. You can do it. You could have hand sanded that. It would have taken significantly longer, but that's where I started. You know, I never had it up until maybe 3 years ago. I had very few power tools. It's only since this channel's grown that I've had to buy power tools for different jobs. So anything's possible with a bit of elbow grease and child labour, of course. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks again, David and Joseph. You guys are awesome. See you again soon. Bye for now.